Good morning. Welcome back. It's a beautiful, bright, sunshiny summer day. And it's been a while since I've done a Tuesday tip. So I thought I would do a Tuesday tip ahead of Tuesday because tomorrow, Tuesday, I'll be traveling and I won't be in my studio for most of the day. Um, so, um, and since I'm going to be out traveling, I'm going to be in an area that I could explore for potential plein air sorts of places to paint. So I thought, what better thing for a Tuesday tip? How to get yourself set up and ready for plein air painting. So, first thing is don't forget your sunglasses. I can't tell you how bad it would be if I forgot my sunglasses. Just ask my kids. There we go, that's better. I can see you. I recommend when you're gonna go plein air painting to pack very light. You know, you don't wanna lug around a bunch of heavy gear and equipment. You don't need it. You can get started plein air painting with a very simple, lightweight, basic kit. Excuse me. I recommend trying watercolors first for your plein air experience. If you've never used watercolors, what better way to get started? They're very forgiving. They're easy to use when you're out there in nature painting. And so I'm going to show you one of the things that, one of the ways I packed my kit. And I have this really nice, cute little bag. It came actually inside of a backpack. The backpack is huge, and I use that for other bigger trips and stuff. So anyways, this pretty much holds everything that I want to bring with me to do watercolor plein air painting. But I'm going to show you each piece one thing at a time. So you're going to need something to paint on or to sketch on. So I have this nice little moleskin book, and I sketch in that. And I also will paint in it too. And then the other thing I have is a hot press 6x8 watercolor block of paper. Plein air is typically done in a very small format. That way you can quickly get the scene and grab where the light and the shadows are, and you don't miss any of that. So that's why we paint small when we're doing plein air painting. You'll notice I have this highly stylish and fashionable straw hat on. That's so that the sun doesn't hit my face, and I can actually get away with not wearing my sunglasses when I paint. The sunglasses, I mean, obviously the dark glass is going to affect how I see color, and I don't want that. So I wear a hat. It keeps bugs off and the sun off my face and all that other good stuff. And my daughter would be very upset with me if I didn't also include the tip to wear sun protection. Bring sunscreen with you. Slather it on. You're going to be outside in the sun. However long you're out there, protect yourself, protect your skin, and you'll make my daughter happy. Okay, so back to what's in my kit. The other thing sometimes you just got to deal with are bugs, mosquitoes. The thing that I have found that works the best is this little thing from Off. It needs a battery, and then you open it up. Let's see if I can do it without. You open up the little screen, and there's a fan in there, and what it does is it blows bug repellent around you in your area. Sometimes I just set it on the chair that I'm sitting in, or sometimes I'll hook it to my belt loop on my pants. But this has made the difference between whether or not I stay in a spot and continue painting, or whether I just run out of there screaming because I'm being eaten alive. Okay, so the other thing, you want to make sure you have water for yourself. You must stay hydrated when you're out there painting in the summer. Water for you. This is a nice big container. I also carry in my car one of those little gallon size, buckets of, not a bucket, the thing with the water and the little sprout you can refill. I have one of those in my car. Yes, it's going to get warm, but water is water. And when you're thirsty and you're going to get, dehydrated, drink it. I don't care if it's hot. The other thing you want to have for your paints, obviously, is water for your watercolors to hydrate them. And then I just have these tiny little, I think they were from they were from the Olive Garden, like the cap to a dessert or something. But these hold a very little bit of water. You don't need a ton. So I have that in my kit for the brushes. Also, that brings me to the brushes. I use these little travel size brushes. They come in a really nice metal container, which then you put them together like that, and has a nice tip. These are watercolor brushes, and the reason why I use these is because I can put them back in here, and those bristles, they don't get bent and weird, funky. I don't like weird, funky. Well, actually I do, but not in my brushes. But you can also use, you don't have to have those kind of brushes. You can also use these. These you fill this end with water, and then as you're using your paints, the water will flow down into the bristles and rehydrate your paint for you. These are really nice to have. If you're going to use these, refill them ahead of time at home before you leave. Stick them in a Ziploc baggie and throw them into your kit. That way you have them there. But you can also just go with the plain old, whatever brush you like for watercolor painting. But remember, this is a really small container that I'm carrying this stuff in. You don't wanna bring every brush in your studio. You just keep it simple so you can enjoy the process and have fun with it. You also want to bring your paints, right? You need some watercolor paint. So I have this little, so it's a mess, I have to clean it out, but I have this little palette. It folds over, not big. I recommend your basic colors, your primary colors, red, blue, yellow, maybe a white, maybe a black. I don't know, you can make black out of all the other colors. So bring colors that you like, that fit in a nice container, but don't go crazy, because you can mix colors. And if you can't mix colors, burn it out. The other thing I have, and the only reason I have this with my watercolors is because it's small and it fits in my kit. Because they're watercolors, I could in theory not worry about cleaning my brushes right there on the spot, because I could go home and clean them out. I could rehydrate the colors on the brushes, and I could get them cleaned out very easily. But sometimes, I have this and I want to use it up, so I just have this in my kit, and I just swap out my medium sometimes, because I do acrylic paintings sometimes in plein air. So this is nice to have, and I just kind of keep it in here, and it's just always there. Another thing that's really nice to have in your kit is just some paper towels folded nicely. That way you can just wipe off your brush. It saves on how much dirty water you create if you can just wipe off most of the pigment on a piece of paper. I have a little ruler in mine just because of measuring distance and all of that stuff. I also have some watercolor pencils. They fit in the kit. They're fun to use, so I have them in here. And then I have just a couple of these, what are they called? Tricolor. They're like a watercolor pencil. They've got like that triangle shape to them. And I also have a little set that has a drawing pencil and some lead and an eraser and a sharpener. So just so I can do some sketching, basic sketching on my masterpiece that I'm working on. You also need to consider, where are you going to be? What are you going to sit on? You could bring a fold-up chair. Those are nice to have. I just throw one in my car in the beginning of the season. I know it's there, and I don't really worry too much about it. I have it. It's there. The other thing that I use sometimes, I'm just trying to put this back together so I can show you, is I have one of these. I think I might have got it at a dollar store a really long time ago, and you can see it's got paint on it. But it's a like a floor mat kind of a thing. And I set this down. If I don't have my chair with me, I just set this down and I sit on it. That way, if the ground is damp or, you know, there's bugs, cooties, you know, you don't want to get like ticks or anything. So I just kind of toss that down and I use that to sit on, and then I feel a little bit more comfortable. Or my chair. Okay, so I'm putting all this back in so you can see that it really does fit. And the other thing that I want to tell you about is I am a firm believer in pack it in, pack it out theory. So if you're gonna be out there enjoying nature, then bring your garbage out with you. You know, if you make trash or whatever, bring it out. So I have a trash bag in my kit that I bring with me. It just slides right in there, and you can see here it's all back in. Okay, and I'm going to add the off bug thing and close this up. And boom, there it is. So then what I do is I have this little backpack that I've got, and I'm gonna stick this in here along with my water and my mat. And then the last couple of things that I would recommend you put in here are snacks. You know, depending on where you're gonna be, you might not have the luxury of running out and grabbing lunch or something. You should take a break. You're probably going to need it, but sometimes we just get so involved in the creative process, we forget to take care of our needs. So make sure you do that. Pack some snacks that aren't going to melt. Frozen grapes, stick them in a little cooler bag, throw them in your bag. They're nice and refreshing when you're out there in the hot sun. And then a couple of things to remind you of, as far as safety goes. Make sure you know where you're gonna go and tell somebody where you're going to be. Let them know how long you're gonna be there and when they should expect you to return. That way, if something happens, heaven forbid something happens, you get lost, somebody's looking out for you and can at least, you know, initiate some sort of, hey, where'd she go, what happened, are you back yet, kind of a thing. Make sure you know how to get out of where you're going. Sometimes I go to places that I've never been before and I'll be like, oh, look, a pretty waterfall, and I just kind of charge right in. But, you know, make sure you know how to get back out, back up the hill or whatever, wherever you are. Stay hydrated, have a snack. And that's about it for how to get started plein air painting. Again, you would adjust your kit according to the medium that you're using. You notice I didn't say much about an easel. Easels for plein air can be heavy. Find one that you're comfortable with carrying around and then use it. As far as my watercolor kit, I don't usually use an easel because watercolors you want to have flat, and I just kind of sit down and prop it on my, you know, my knees or whatever, and I go from there. But if you're more comfortable with an easel, by all means, go check them out. There's a ton of easels out there, and maybe the next time I do a demo, I will show you a couple of them. I have a couple of different easels, so I'll show you. Maybe I'll show you them. In the meantime, enjoy yourself, stay creative, have fun, and be safe.